2023 was about realizing old plans. I reached the Dolomites for the first time, climbed the only unvisited section so far of the ridge of the Făgăraș Mountains, Custura Sărății, one of the most difficult marked trails in the country, and I had one of the most beautiful views of my life from the summit of the Pico volcano in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in the Azores, which is also the highest peak of Portugal. In February, I spent a week on the island of Pico, from which you can see the other two islands of the group known as the Triangle, Faial and São Jorge. It wasn't easy to get there. After a drive to Budapest, I had to spend the night at the airport in Lisbon, followed by another flight of about 3 hours. Before I could settle into my accommodation, I visited the lava cliffs of Cashurum, Arcos Vulcanicus, the Ponta Rasa windmill, and walked a little in the sometimes windy Prainha Park. The next day, I hiked a trail near the ocean around the village of Calheta de Neschim. I didn't escape the wind at Lagoa do Caiado Lake either. The black and green color combination provided by nature reminded me of Iceland. The Mistero da Prainha trail really shows that it is no exaggeration that the island is home to hundreds of volcano craters. On my 4-day span there, I found after a long search a few volcanic bombs, next to which I felt small. I visited the iconic Moindu Frad windmill. I reached the São Mateus lighthouse, but found the Eustachio waterfall dry. On the 5th day it was summit day. It was the first time I paid an entry fee to ascend the peak, but in return I was followed from below via GPS, which was useful considering that I was practically alone on the huge mountain. There was snow at the top, and I had to use my hands to climb the last few meters, but the view from the summit made up for everything. I could see the other two islands and the endless sea of clouds over the Atlantic Ocean, a view I rank in the top 3 of my life. So it's no wonder I arrived back at the car with a smile on my face. I wouldn't call the hike easy, so for the next day I scheduled a visit to the Whaling Museum. I walked around a little in the spectacular Furna do Frei Mateus cave. I had a nice view again from the Cabeco de Geraldo viewpoint. The Maio waterfall was also dry, but the huge Caldeira crater left me speechless. On the last day, I went to one of the island's important lakes, Lagoa do Capitão, checked out the view from the top of Pico da Urs, stood next to the huge Bomba do Prainha Roca, hiked to Ponta da Ilha, and also tasted the local octopus specialty. In April, we got a bit rained on at Scărița Belioara, but at least we moved a little. In May, we met for the first time in person with the Romanian nature YouTubers in Fundățica, the highest inhabited village of the country. From the hills of the area, I could see Piatra Craiului and Bucești from a new angle. The next day, a little caving was on the agenda. In June, I climbed for the first time to the viewpoint on Peak Lespezi near Răchițele waterfall, and returned to the area a few weeks later to hike the Kőhegyszi route of the Banfi Miklós Memorial Hike. In August, I returned to one of the places where we took excursions often in my childhood. Starting from Vadul Crișului, we visited the Țara lookouts. On the way to the Dolomites, we stopped to rest at Laghi di Fusine Lake near the Italian-Slovenian-Austrian triple border. Before dark, we visited not only the Laghi di Misurina and Laghi di Landro lakes, but we also caught a glimpse of the Trecime di Lavaredo in the fabulous light of the sunset. The next day, we climbed the technical Grand Cir peak, from where we had a view all around on several characteristic groups of the Dolomites, such as Sassolungo and Sela, the highest point of which I had planned for a later day. After the hike, we had some time to visit Alpi di Siusi as well, the highest alpine pasture in Europe. The next day, I didn't give up my budget-conscious travel style. We stayed 70 euros richer each by skipping the lifts to Seceda. Further, this way, there were only a few of us on the summit at sunset. On the other hand, I opted for the easier way up to Marmolada, the highest mountain in the Dolomites. But it was not easy to get to the starting point due to an unexpected and somewhat cryptically signposted road closure. We started the next day at the popular Cadini di Missurina lookout point, so there was no time to walk around Trecime di Lavaredo due to the sudden onset of a storm. The lightning striking around us were a good motivation to our trail running performance. The fifth day was spent climbing the fifth highest peak of my life, Pitzboe. Hundreds of people disappeared from the mountain in a matter of minutes with the lost cable car. Due to the ominous clouds, we had to consider carefully the descent from the summit. Eventually, we had to hurry again until we reached safer ground and finally escaped with a few drops of rain. For the last day, Sentiero Natura Valfalcina was the perfect cool-down hike, which was surprisingly long and technical for an educational trail. In September, I completed the missing quarter of the circuit around Cheile Aiudului and then completed another long-planned excursion camping near the Detunates. I spent 4 days with the tent in Făgăraș Mountains. I didn't see the bear this time either, only heard it. I returned to the only place from where I had to call mountain rescue. Traversing Custura Sărății was enjoyable from the wrong direction as well. Further, I could stand alone on Peak Negoiu, the second highest of the country. This concluded the 2023 hiking season for me, but in 2024 I will be able to cross more entries off my bucket list and fulfill a promise to my viewers.